and get this game going. Game 3 of Broodsport between F91 and Idra. F91 with a 2-0 lead and has won himself $50 thus far. So here we go. Game 3. And here we have Idra spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, and F91 spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, and luckily F91 will be scouting towards Idra, so I guess that's good for him at the moment.
I just want to say thank you to all the viewers. We're peaking at 1,800. Our server is almost full, and that's really never happened before. So thanks a lot to everyone who tuned in. I was really worried. This is really early, especially for video game players. So thanks a lot to everyone who woke up and put the time into their schedule to watch this.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's an unfortunate time to have to do this. I mean, we've got to cater towards 3 different audiences. We've got to cater towards the people living in the United States, with which the Pacific people have the greatest problems there because they're a bit slow. Then we've got the Europeans that we've got to deal with as well, and the Chinese, and that's quite a wide range of times there. We started at midnight in China actually, and 5 o'clock in Europe, and an amazing 8 a.m. in the Pacific. So, full credit to you guys for getting out, and thank you for turning up to this event. And hopefully the games aren't disappointing you thus far. So far we see no funny stuff here from either side. We don't see F91 putting down a 9-pull or anything funky like that, or even an overpull. So I guess he will be playing 12-hatch like he has done so far in this series.
Yeah, and the many Chinese viewers who are tuned in must be loving this thus far. We see that scouting drone yet again going to bottom right, just keeping Idra honest. I don't know if this is going to be a harassing drone again or what it's going to be. 12-hatch coming up for F91, and Idra, Robo-Dra, as you will, going for the standard 1 racks into expand, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, Idra's been playing the same thing every game, but I mean, there's no harm in doing that, I think. At least in this matchup. Because really, the real differential for Terrans is how they can control those vessels, and how well they can keep up with producing Marines into the mid-late game. So, I don't see any harm in Idra playing safe and standard at this point, because, I mean, Terrans should be able to defend most things using this opening.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. But, I mean, we've seen F91's effectiveness in mixing it up, right? And Idra is known for never mixing it up, so I think this would have been a neat map for a proxy BBS or something. Throw it in there, try to get the advantage back. Idra is very confident in his style and his mechanics, but I mean, at some point, it's not working anymore. He's really going to be broken if he can't win this game. But we see the single Marine out, and now there's going to be a command center, so going into just standard play.
Definitely. I mean, Andromeda should be the map that Idra would take out of the maps that he didn't choose. I mean, he did lose on his own map pick, but I mean, Andromeda favors his cold mechanical style very, very well. But at the same time, I mean, it does cater towards F91 slightly more all-inish style, because it does lend itself to players playing a lot more predictably. With that said, we haven't seen too much all-inish play on this map thus far. So, thus far throughout the history of Liquidation. And indeed, this map has been in every Liquidation in one way or another, so I guess players just love playing on this standardly and getting to the late game and producing generally really, really awesome games.
I can't believe how different F91 plays ZVT than everyone else. I mean, I've gone over this every time, but this is a build actually from over a year ago, 12, 11, 16, 18 gas. That 18 gas is so late, and he doesn't even get a 4th hatchery with all those extra minerals, so it's just amazing. He doesn't really seem to have a tight build order at the start, or he does, but it's not in agreement with what everyone else seems to say is the best build order, so it's really interesting to see it play.
Well, I mean, even down to like the drone scout, I mean, it may be a psychological thing, but really, how often do you see players drone scout in this matchup? I mean, I've seen July do it every now and then, but he's July, the god of war, and he sucks at ZVT anyway. But really, I mean, drone scouting is so 2003, 2004. I mean, F91 is pretty much the accumulation of pretty much all the old school Zerg builds into this monstrosity, or if you want to call it that.
We see a second gas now. This is really strange. This makes me believe he's going to want to get quick upgrades, because that second gas I don't believe should be coming up that quickly, unless he's going to do a +1 carapace as well as mutas. But I expect to see an evolution chamber pretty quick here. And there it goes. Wow, look at me.
And Idra once again is going for the 5-bats before his medics. Again, I don't know if that's the best decision he could be making, as he would rather have more energy on those medics, as you pointed out last game, Chill. Yeah, so far Idra has played the exact same build every single game, and surprisingly, he does have a few SCVs lying around that were idle before. Maybe that's a sign of the pressure starting to get to him, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We see the Hydralisk stand going down this time, timed properly this time, so it is going to be some sort of +1 lurker attack like last time. I don't know if it's going to be the same sort of all-in style, especially because he's committed. This third hatchery has more opportunity to build more drones there, so I would want to believe this isn't going to be more all-in, but with F91 it's really nearly impossible to call.
Yeah, I tend to think that on this map, because you do have the ability to put your third hatchery at the mineral only, that F91 will be looking to play a more macro-oriented game and less all-inish than we've seen in the past. I mean, Idra has just scanned the Hydralisk in, so he does know that lurkers are on the way, and accordingly he isn't putting up any turrets anywhere. So, and he is coming out and pressuring with a small group of M&M and F, and that's just forcing F91 to put down some Sunkens, and that's quite annoying as Zerg, because it does take quite a bit out of your economy, but still, it's better to do that than get rolled by quite a weak attack force, really.
No one likes getting sunken broken, let me tell you that. And Idra, you know, likes playing with fire. He's done this 3 times and it hasn't worked twice, so I mean, he realizes that it's not the play that's wrong, it's just he hasn't scouted properly, or, you know, it is the right play to go out and make sunken, so it's good to see him keep trying that and not kind of arbitrarily change his style. F91 kind of overreacting here. I think 3 sunkens is sufficient. He's putting down 2 more, so I mean, no one likes getting sunken broken, but no one likes killing their own economy this early. So I really think this is a mistake from him.
Interesting build by F91 now. He's added his 4th hatchery, as one would expect, but he's also adding a Queen's Nest, so it looks like he's going to be playing for a very fast hive here like he did last game. Although, I suspect his push will become a lot more slower and focus more around getting the defilers out much quicker and abusing Swarm to its fullest potential. Again, I love hive tech on this map. It's, you know, Plague is so brilliant, and really it produces some great games.
Yeah, for sure, I got to agree. You're going to be playing against, you know, 9 barracks, pretty much always pumping Marines, so Plague is just ridiculous. Defilers in general are one of the easiest ways to push back that huge Terran blob, and you're inevitably going to be facing it on Andromeda unless there's some sort of weird opening. So we see a lot of lurkers out now. Idra, again, with this forward postured, tiny attack force, he's got to be careful here. He's going to get attacked by, you know, a couple lurkers and some speedlings, and that's going to be it. So, Idra, man, be careful.
And Idra is being careful, and he did wisely take a few shots at that lurker and then retreat back wisely. He's playing nice, and he's staying on top of his game and not being sucked in thus far. I mean, he's doing a good job of staying on top of his own nerves, really, at the moment. 5th hatch going up for F91, and the 2nd evolution chamber is done. That +1 is also done on his units, and Idra is still 0-0, with Starport just about to have its control tower finished. Idra is doing a great job of stalling those lurkers from advancing, but at the same time, F91 is gaining a bit of ground with those.
And there comes a time where there's just enough Zerglings that you can do all the cute stuff against lurkers you want, but you get flanked with 24, 36 Zerglings, so I really don't like that Idra is keeping this this army postured forward so much. It's just unnecessary losses when F91 decides to finally push out. But he is very confident in his micro. Looks like F91 reuniting. There's about 24 Zerglings there and a couple lurkers. Looks like he wants to move forward and posture, and Idra realizes, no, he's not retreating. He's just moving back a little bit. And F91 makes enough space to send down 2 drones and start expanding.
Okay, F91's hive is now completed. Oh, well, here we go. We got F91 coming in. Brilliant flank with those lings. And well done. Those lurkers have absolutely dominated Idra. And like you said, having that army so far out has really come back to bite Idra in the ass once again. As I was saying, F91 now is building a Spire in his main. He has his hive tech up. And he should be putting up a Defiler Mound any moment now. I mean, well, that was an epic blunder by Idra right there. Without an army and Defiler tech coming up, I don't see a bright future in this game at all.
CJ, I am accepting coaching positions ASAP. Looks like F91 getting +1 melee, +1 carapace, Defiler Mound, and Adrenaline, and Idra's going to be in a world of trouble. He's got a drop coming, but this is going to get shut down by simple Zerglings. There's no Firebat in there, only 6 Marines, so that really is accomplishing nothing. Idra could come in with another dropship, but it looks like instead he's decided to queue up 2 vessels, and he's got tanks. So I mean, he's safe for now, but he's going to be greatly behind if he keeps in this position for a bit.
I'm just getting word from our tech crew. You guys have actually maxed out our server, so we are full. This has never happened before, especially outside of the TSL, so this is quite amazing. That drop is crawling around trying to do as much damage as it can, but it won't be able to do anything. It will, however, be able to scout 9 o'clock, but F91 has 2 lurkers there ready to stop any kind of funny stuff done by those Marines, so Idra can't do anything with that drop, and really is falling behind after losing taking such huge losses from that flank earlier on.
I really like F91's style. It is like you said, it's kind of the old school savior style. I mean, he's just taking expansion slowly, playing defensive, controlling the map, and attacking when necessary. I really, really like it, and I think Idra is kind of falling into his hand, attacking when he shouldn't be. Idra is like kind of, build up units and then attack kind of style would really work a lot better than this style he's trying to play. And he does have a fair-sized mid-game army. Looks like he's trying to push out, create some room so he can take his in-base natural.
Yeah, I mean, F91's play is really good right now. I mean, it does remind me of Savior, and here we go. Some Zerglings are going to get squelched by those tanks, and F91 is forced to retreat off. Really, Savior's style was epitomized by waiting till the very last moment before he engaged, and allowing himself to build up the biggest economy he could, and getting the best unit combination possible. I mean, that was such an effective style, but it's such a hard style to put off, because you've got to be completely on the ball with the timings, and got to be completely on top of your game the entire game, and not slip up once, or else the game is effectively over. And here we go, Idra forcing those lurkers back with Siege and Vessel, and F91 is doing a good job pulling back. Is our stream dead, tech crew? I will pause it just in case we are dead.
Idra's got to back off. Zergling's coming into flank. Now under swarm. Good positioning from F91, but the Firebats, there's quite a few Firebats there. Idra losing a lot of tanks. He's only got 1 tank left, but the majority of his army is still together. But I mean, F91's army is the majority of it is still together. So I think F91 got the better of that, pushing Idra back, and he's got some breathing room now to keep furthering his tech.
That was really only half of F91's army. I mean, all of it's still situated in the choke of his natural. I mean, here you can see it moving out now, that massive blue blob there on the map versus Idra's white blob there. We can see the 2 vessels coming hovering over, trying to kill off some defilers. And no, they're going to get killed by the Scourge. There's one down, and the second one's being chased by 2 vessels. And oh no, F91 is engaging half of Idra's army with his army. And oh no. Idra is going to be taking serious losses from there, and that's not good. You never want to be engaging with only half your army. Zergling's coming in, doing a nice bit of damage there with the flank, separating the medics from the Marines, and really has just taken out half of Idra's army at really double the effectiveness than it otherwise would have been done.
And meanwhile, Idra has been pressing on the 9 o'clock, but he can't get anything done because there's a Defiler there, which is swarming 1 or 2 lurkers, keeping Idra back. Sieging his tank in range of the Sunken. Oh my god. F91 pressing forward. I mean, F91 has complete map control. Idra should not be pressing forward here. He's going to get either massively flanked, and here comes the flank. Ton of Zerglings coming back. This is pretty much all Zerglings. F91 doesn't even need lurkers. Idra loses his army, and that is going to be the game. Idra has completely and totally lost map control now. A lot of the tactical decisions he's making don't make any sense, and Idra is way off his game this game.
I'm actually legitimately surprised at not only Idra's poor decision making there, but also how bad his macro is at the moment. He's up around 1k minerals and it's 800 gas, and at one stage he had about 4 or 5 Marines queued up in his barracks. I mean, for a programmer that's quite abysmal. And here comes Idra, F91 coming in to attack Idra. Those lurkers coming around the side as they have done all through the series and doing a great job. F91 doing a brilliant job of separating Idra's army out from his main, pushing them into a bad position, and then cleaning them with hookers. And yes, and there goes the last of Idra's army. And really, with F91's booming economy, I don't see much that Idra can do right now.
Yeah, the peanut gallery is saying that this game is not over, but we see F91 at 2,000, 1,000 with an Ultralisk Cavern coming in 4 secured bases, 3 geysers. There's no way Idra is ever going to be able to break that. And with Defilers moving up now, Idra's way out of position. That Defiler's going to get 2 good swarms off here. Here comes the first one. The second one's going to be able to push right up against the bunkers, and Idra's going to be in a load of trouble just from this attack alone.
Yeah, I mean, Idra's still got a lot of money tied up in unproduced units, and he's got a lot of supply left over from all his lost army, so I mean, Idra's macro has led him down this game, which is something we didn't expect, and those 5-8s are doing a great job of cleaning up those Zerglings, but really those Lurkers are doing too much damage for Idra to put up any real kind of defense, and Idra going for a last-ditch attempt to try break F91's base, but his vessels are getting scourged. Oh no, everything's just going wrong for Idra. He's lost all his vessels. He's got about 8 Marines left, and he's got to take on an entire Zerg swarm, and that's just not happening. Once again, Idra gives the G, game I guess that means again. Well done to F91, he has now taken a commanding lead in the series, 3-0 up, and has won himself $75.
If we combine those 2 Gs into GG, we can assume Idra didn't say GG one of the games, which is probably how he's feeling, being down 3-0 to someone he doesn't respect. That doesn't stroke the ego too hard.
Oh no, I mean, Idra must be fuming at the moment. Going down in a long game against F91 against Hive Tech player, I mean, we all expected Idra's mechanics to be much better than that, and to be able to capitalize on F91 and really take it home in the mid game. But wow, F91's really going toe to toe with him, and even though he had a lot of money stored up, I mean, that gets taken away so quickly when you have Ultras. So I mean, that's kind of understandable for a Zerg, I suppose.
So I guess Idra needs to all kill now on the remaining 4 maps. The next map is going to be Raid Assault 2. That's not a notoriously good map for Terran to start a comeback against Zerg.
Well, remember that this should be another good map for Idra, seeing as he has prepared, or has a nice build that took out Savior. So this could be the start of Idra turning things around, coming back, winning the next 4 games, and then taking the series. However, with all probabilities accounted for, F91 style does tell me he's going to win at least one of the next 4 games.
Well, you know, the Idra hype has kind of passed for me. I've heard this story from Artosis and Tasteless and Noni so many times, how Idra has this magical build, da-da-da-da, on this map, and like, I see no results for it. He had the same magical build that rapes every Zerg on Colosseum, and then he got to Courage and like lost his armory to mutas and died. I mean, I understand the situations are situational, and he has a lot of pressure, and he doesn't do well against pressure, but you can't keep hyping this up and showing no results, and that's what I'm seeing. So I have little to no expectations for this build.